Learn to enjoy sex for yourself. I shared last week in my live, I'm going to be talking more about our relationship with sex as women, and especially once we get married and we build walls around sex and we begin to withhold and withdraw from sex with our husbands. So I want to share a little bit in talking about this today. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I want to keep planting seeds as I take a lot of my message in this direction for women, because quite frankly, we've really screwed ourselves up around sex. I was really screwed up around sex. And so I want to share a little bit of something that really clicked with me as I was learning to open up to sex again and enjoy it for myself. That was really important to me. I remember, I had, when my husband and I first met, sex was not an issue. And for most of us, we can look back and remember it wasn't an issue. We were excited to get together and have sex. And my mentor helped me to see that I was the problem in sex, because I had made it all about my husband. He doesn't understand what I need. I've changed. I need it to be different. I made sex very complicated. I wanted to read all of these books. I wanted to do some more woo-woo stuff and thought maybe learning about Tantra would help, and all these alternative ideas and views on sex. And my husband is just a normal, everyday good man. And I can remember as we were going through this in our relationship, he was so frustrated. Like, one, where did this become an issue? Because it wasn't an issue in the beginning. And why are you making it so complicated? It's just sex. Like, we don't need to talk about it at this depth and make it this big deal. You're making it worse. And I wouldn't hear him, didn't want to hear him. And then I started on this path that now I have the honor of teaching. And I was working with my mentor, and I was really pissed because he was trying to help me to see, and ladies, this is what you need to know for yourself. He was helping me to see I was the problem in the issues that my husband and I were having around sex. And this was about 8 or 9 years ago. And I was so frustrated and so mad because I wanted us working on sex to be 50-50, of like, well, no, he's got to meet me here and I'll meet him here. And my mentor was like, no, it's you. Your husband, as a good man, doesn't have a problem with sex. It's very simple. You're the one making it a big deal. You're the one who has all the walls up around it. And I was mad because I didn't want to have to be the one to take 100% responsibility for the issues and challenges. And I didn't want to take responsibility that I was the one that had to change. And so he helped me in a way that I want to help you today. And he helped me make the analogy with something that I love to do. I love to bake. I'm pretty normal, everyday, average woman. I really enjoy baking. And one of my favorite things about baking is then sharing, as long as it's good. I enjoy sharing it then with others. And that's one of my favorite parts about baking. And I don't think twice about that. I go to the store, I spend the time in the kitchen, I put the love and work and effort into whatever I am baking. And then I freely give and want others to enjoy that too. And I'm not going there, well, wait a second, I did all the work. Why should they enjoy that? I'm going to keep this cake to myself, which wouldn't be a good idea for me. And so my mentor helped me make the analogy. He said, Karen, sex is like baking. And I probably went cross-eyed a little bit. Sex is just like baking. You're married to a wonderful man. Why wouldn't you do the work on yourself to open up, to get rid of the complexity around sex, all this that you've made it, to just open your heart and learn to enjoy sex for yourself, and then share that with your husband, and he gets the benefit. It's just like baking. Why wouldn't you want to share that with the person that you say you love the most? And that clicked for me. I was like, oh, right. And then remembering back to when we first got together and first started dating, it wasn't an issue. So it was me that needed to work on opening back up and dropping my walls and letting go of how difficult I made sex. And so what I want women to know is that sex is about you and how you make yourself feel in sex. Sex is not how someone or something makes you feel. Sex is how you allow yourself to feel. And if you are married to a good man, I promise you, he enjoys sex. It's important to him in the relationship, and he would love nothing more than for you to re-engage and enjoy it for yourself. But we have to drop the complexity and the issues and the baggage that we have built up, the web of stories and issues we have created around sex. And we need to come back to basics. And there's something when I work with my female clients that I like to remind us. And I do not mean this in a crude way, but we need to be reminded sex is really, really simple. Okay. It's just this. It's not any of all the stuff we've made it. It's just a nice, simple, enjoyable pleasure that we can have with the one person we can have sex with, our husbands. It's a nice experience we get to share, and it happens to be incredibly important to your husband in the marriage and how he feels respected. So my message there for the women who are shut down around sex, who have made it a really big deal like I did, it's simple. It's just like baking. Why wouldn't you do that for yourself? It's a healthy thing for you too. It's part of your human experience. And then share that and allow your husband to get the benefit of you re-engaging with sex and enjoying it for yourself.